It was always kind of stunt first with you. You're always thinking of these strange ideas that you could do.
It started out, I just was kind of trying to replicate some of the early Letterman bits. When you go out with a megaphone, we'd go on the roof of a building with a megaphone, and I'd sort of shout silly stuff at people. But then it started getting weirder. I started doing things like I'd tape meat to my head, and it was the character was called Meathead, actually. And it's on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. But, I'd go out and I'd just sort of do very dry interviews with people downtown in the market area of Ottawa with the meat on my head, and they'd sort of be looking at the meat. But, you start to figure out, it's funny, because the reaction shot of just people looking at the meat on my head with these weird looks was really what the laugh was about. So started doing more of these stunt-driven things.
I mean, you could probably end up curing cancer, but people are going to remember the stuff that you did to your parents.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
They will, that's for sure.
Yeah. But really, I don't recall anybody doing that kind of humor before. I mean, it's predates even reality TV, where you find out where the host lives and the way his family really feels about him. And then, of course, you did it comedically. You did it just to get a rise out of him.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a spin-off of technology changing too. Video cameras come out, and now you have a new process to making television, right? So, you're able to sneak into your parents' bedroom, without having to run it by a television executive or anything. So we just started doing stuff. And
the first time that you did it, was this a planned stunt or just fooling around?
It wasn't really that planned. It was, we did the show every Thursday on the public access station, and we would have a studio audience. I'd like to have like 3 or 4 bits for them, field pieces. It was a talk show. I'd sit at a desk, I'd interview, like, we didn't have celebrities in Ottawa, but I'd interview like a local hot air balloon pilot or something. I'd like to have a couple of these bits that we'd shot during the week, and one night we'd sort of gotten behind, and we only had two bits, and we were coming home from a shoot. The show was the next day, and my friend Darcy, who was from school, who was shooting the show with me, he was dropping me off at my parents' house where I was living, and we just kind of randomly said, he had a Bon Jovi Live in New Jersey video cassette in the back seat. Sure. And we thought, that might be kind of funny to wake up my parents right now and see if they want to watch the Bon Jovi Live in New Jersey video cassette. And, so we did that, and they were, of course, really upset about just being woken up on a work night and all this stuff. And, it was funny because then we played it to the audience, and it killed. It killed more than anything we'd done, more than Meathead.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah. And we sort of said, hey, this is neat. And then we sort of gradually started to have to up the ante and do sort of slightly more ridiculous things to the parents because, we had to keep them on their toes.